What's going on, veterans? Tony here with For the Core. Today we're going to talk about the difference between primary service connection and secondary service connection. All right, when it comes to the VA disability claims process, knowledge is money. Because at the end of the day, the more you know, the more your claims and your overall percentage is going to grow. Now, I'm not telling you guys to lie, cheat, embellish, or try and game the system. All right, if you don't have disabilities that rate a percentage, then there's no need in filing a claim. But I'm here to educate you guys on the process and kind of give you guys the confidence you need to go out there and submit these successful claims. So primary service connection. This is going to be what all of you guys are familiar with. You came off active duty, you weren't the same, whether it was mentally or physically, and primary service connected disabilities are disabilities or conditions that were caused or made worse by your active duty service. So let's take mental health, for example. Let's say that you were in a combat zone, right? You deployed to Afghanistan, Vietnam, Iraq, whatever theater of operations you were deployed to, and you were subject to combat, right? You get out of the military, you're suffering from PTSD, and you want to file a claim for it. The three things that you're going to need to get this claim approved: you're going to need a diagnosis. So if you're sitting there and you are suffering from PTSD, but you've never seen a doctor for it, that is step number one. All right, go talk to the VA, go talk to your primary doctor and tell them about your symptoms, right? You need to get a diagnosis. All right, once you have that diagnosis, that is step number one. All right, the next thing you're going to need to do is prove service connection. Now, if you did deploy to Afghanistan and you have a combat action ribbon, let's say, that is your service connection. It's going to be right there in your DD-214. You're going to have the necessary evidence that you need. The third thing you're going to need is current symptoms. Okay, so if you're going to a doctor regularly, a therapist, and you're talking about your PTSD symptoms, all that stuff is going to be documented up to date. Okay, so you got the diagnosis, you can prove service connection, and you have current symptoms because you've been going to the doctor. Now, that is primary service connection. You can now go and file a disability claim, and you're going to want to provide all of the necessary documentation. It's all going to be in your medical records. Now, secondary service connection. What is secondary service connection? I made a video recently about tinnitus and how tinnitus, a measly 10% claim, can really become 70 or even 90%. That is by way of secondary conditions. So let's just take that example again and shorten it down for you guys. All right, let's say you have a 10% tinnitus claim. All right, you're suffering from ringing in the ears. It's super irritating, sometimes debilitating. And let's say that tinnitus is causing you to have migraines. Migraines are a rateable condition secondary to tinnitus, right? The two most common secondary disability claims to tinnitus are migraines and anxiety. So let's take those migraines, for example, and let's say that you want to file a disability claim for secondary service connection to tinnitus. So you got your 10% for tinnitus. You're going to the doctor now for your migraines, and you're telling that doctor, look, these migraines did not start happening until this tinnitus. The tinnitus, I feel, is what caused these migraines because I wasn't suffering from them beforehand. Now, once you receive that diagnosis of migraines, the next thing you're going to need to do is prove service connection or prove secondary service connection. You can do this by asking your doctor to provide you with the nexus letter. All right, and the nexus is essentially the link from the tinnitus to your migraines. So you're going to want your doctor to write something along the lines of, this veteran's migraines are more likely than not caused by this veteran's service-connected tinnitus. Now, if your doctor is unwilling to write that, you guys can pursue a private doctor for a fee that they will write these out for you. So the three things you need, as we've said, you're going to need the migraine diagnosis, you're going to need to prove secondary service connection by way of that nexus, and also the current symptoms. So those are the differences between primary service connection and secondary service connection. Secondary service connection is something that so many veterans are unaware of. They don't even know that it exists. They have no idea that if they have a tinnitus rating that's a measly 10% rating, they can get a rating of potentially 30 or even 50%, depending on the severity, for migraines. So that is how veterans can get to 70, 80, 90, or even 100% disability when they only have a couple of service-connected disabilities, because they can stack secondary claims on top of those. All right, so if you guys are wondering how to take your claim from a 10, 30 to even a 50 or 70 or above percentage, this is how you do it, by way of secondary connections. Okay, so I hope this video helped. Remember, moving forward, the 3 things you need for any disability claim, primary or secondary, is going to be a diagnosis, prove service connection or secondary service connection, and have current symptoms. All right, if you guys found this video helpful, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, stay tuned. I'm going to be posting regular content for you guys. If you guys got any questions, comments, concerns, as usual, drop them down below. I'll be seeing you guys real soon. This is Tony with For the Core. Semper Fi.